safety first.
As a proud, wholly owned subsidiary of ABH, North Safety has been supplying personal protective equipment for over 50 years. From its beginnings in 1956, we are represented throughout sub-Saharan Africa and up into parts of Central, East and Western Africa. North is a leading supplier of respiratory, hearing, eye, face, head and hand protection, as well as protective clothing, footwear and various specialized safety items. We are the only company in Africa that can supply you with a North branded product from head to toe. We are also a leading distributor for other well-established brands such as DuPont, Uvex, 3M, Bova and Rebel, to name a few. We supply end users, distributors and also specialize in managed on-site stores. North Safety is constantly improving its service and product standards to meet customers' expectations, and international specifications include those of the EN and ANSI. Our ongoing investment in product development ensures that North Safety products will remain one of Africa's leading personal protective suppliers. I invite you to join me in a brief tour of North Safety facilities and offerings.
Durban, South Africa is where we begin. In July 2007, the control of North Safety Products Africa was localized to form part of an empowered, diversified industrial holding company known as African Boomerang Holdings. North has an exclusive agency agreement with North Honeywell to represent the North brand in sub-Saharan Africa. North prides itself with importing high-quality products that comply with international standards to ensure optimal performance. We subscribe to transparency, honesty, and integrity in all our dealings. We embrace entrepreneurship, believe in empowering people, building relationships, and improving lives. Pinetown, as the head office of ABH and North Safety Products, accommodates the National Finance and Admin Departments, the National Central Distribution Centre and Manufacturing Facility, as well as the KwaZulu-Natal Sales Branch. Our manufacturing plant in New Germany boasts a 5,200 square metre facility, which houses various production lines. North Safety pioneered the manufacturing of PVC gloves in the early 1960s. The range of PVC gloves manufactured complies with the SABS specification for chemical resistance. North boasts a comprehensive range of head protection, including safety caps, hard hats, brow guards and visors. The hard hat range comprises of various styles and is manufactured under the South African standard SANS 1397. The products can be manufactured to meet various customer requirements in splash, electrical insulation, and in a variety of standard or high-vis colors, and a glow-in-the-dark option. North assisted with the establishment of Sia Pambili clothing manufacturers in 2001. Sia Pambili employs their own staff to manufacture PVC clothing, pneumo jackets, and specialized gloves. North Safety has spent a great deal of time and resources on enterprise development. We believe this element is broad-based empowerment in its purest sense. In addition to this, North has launched their own range of workwear, where we have designed an off-loom range of standard and high-quality specialized textiles that we import. These textiles are independently tested to ensure that they meet their specific requirements. We then have these textiles cut on-site to the SABS or North patterns to ensure that our styles are never compromised. We then deliver these cut garments to our exclusively contracted local CMT factory for construction. North also imports products from Asia, Europe, Canada, and the USA. warehouse with its bond and rebate stores, receives and distributes daily to the various branches, on-site stores and retail customers throughout sub-Saharan Africa. North Safety Products have a national footprint and are represented in all the major centres. All our branches have a comprehensive sales team, comprising of a branch manager, internal sales and external sales representatives. The branch administrators, together with our warehouse staff, have a fleet of vehicles which are capable of servicing customers on a daily basis from their own branch warehouses. North Johannesburg is located inland. These offices are based in Isando. Our 3,200 square meter North Safety Products Johannesburg facility is where our Exports Department, National Sales and Marketing Department, National Commercial Division, as well as one of our many branches is based in Isando. In addition, the Isando facility has a training center which offers ongoing product-specific training to the staff as well as to the customer. This training facility has a wide range of our products for a touch and feel style of intensive training. The Exports Department, with its own bond store in Isando, supplies products into countries such as Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Malawi, Tanzania, Congo, Guinea, Mauritius and Madagascar. The Commercial Department, with their team, is responsible for the smooth running of our national contracts. Their contract implementation team is instrumental in the successful implementation of on-site stores, consignment stock agreements and other turnkey service solutions. One of the flagship on-site stores that North has acquired is the on-site facility based at Rio Tinto, Richards Bay Mineral Site. One of North's safety key strengths is its contract business, where time and money have been invested to create management systems and protocols to ensure smooth running and high service levels. North has the ability to customize the on-site solution to suit specific site requirements. Our NICS, or North Inventory Control System, has been developed to facilitate and manage the complete process of issuing PPE, tracking of budgets per employee, per product, per cost center, and reporting on the resulting transactional data in any format that may be required. All of which will add value to the service offered and will result in decreased operating cost benefits for the customer. North strives to meet the technical requirements of products, to exceed all expectations of service, and to anticipate the future needs of its key customers. North Safety Products have positioned themselves as a market leader with a significant competitive advantage. North Safety Products, putting people's safety first.
A very good morning to everyone. Good morning. How are you? People probably ask themselves, what's good about the morning? So maybe that's the reason why people got too hesitant when answering this. Number one is good because we are alive. Number one is good because we are part of the game changers in the continent at large. So be happy that you are in this good morning. Am I right? All right, please. My name is Sibusiso Khumalo. I go by Sbu Khumalo. I guess I'm the only team member, team player at ICANN who has two women in his life. Yes, Mr. Andre, two women. The first one is my wife, 32 years old, and the second one is my daughter, 4 years old. Yeah, I got most of you. Most of you are like, okay, are they playing this game at ICANN? No, I'm yet the only one. And yes, I'm a husband to one wife, full stop, and every full must stop. That's the slogan I go by on a daily basis. I would like to welcome all of you as we engage today on the most important topics. Rather, most important topic to be engaged on, and many others to be dialogued about, because today we are going to be empowering ourselves for future development, right? So may I kindly have everyone standing to their feet. Most of what I personally do at ICANN, I work as a life coach, and I work much on youth programs. And part of my work as a life coach, I normally teach and educate people on personal development, right? So I'd like everyone to join me in this saying. Say, personal development is private, but for public use. So we are developed personally so that we can impact everyone else out. And I think that today's event is more about that. It's more about empowering each other, having fun in this motivational space so that we can instill greatness to those looking up to us and to the rest of the continent, if not the rest of the world. So with that being said, still standing on our feet, we're going to ask the IT team to grace us with the national anthem. Thank you.
South Africa, South Africa.
Well, thank you so much. You may be seated, please. We are living in troubled times and pretty much uncertain. But there's one thing I believe we all need to be certain of, and that is who we are in this space. We might never be certain about anything else, but one needs to be certain about who they are, because when we know who we are, guess what? We know what we are not. So with that being said, I just want us to do just a bit of a gesture. You probably walked in and you grabbed this person sitting next to you, but I want you to reaffirm this person of who they really are. Look at this person next to you. Tell them you are great. If they don't believe, just give them a slap on their shoulder. Tell them you are great. All right. May we all kindly stand up as we observe protocol. May we all kindly stand as we all observe protocol. And let us welcome Dr. David Molapo and His Excellency Dr. Nkosinathi Sishi. Please, let's give them a warm round of applause. We can do much, much, much better than that. Well, thank you so much. Please, you may be seated. We would like to welcome Dr. David Molapo and the team, His Excellency Dr. Nkosinathi Sishi. It is very important that as we engage in such conversations, mind you that today we are all about future skills and future technology. And with that being said, before going much, I would like to welcome everyone here actually and those who are with us online. It is very important that we do have these conversations, and as part of having these conversations, we have to be asking one very important and very pivotal question, and that is, where to from here? We have faced a lot, we have been through so much, but the question that needs to be answered, and in this conference, we hope to be answering such. Where are we going from here? Are we going backwards? Are we going to protest? Are we going to lift up those placards? Or are we going to apply ourselves, as great as we are, for the betterment of those coming after us? So without dwelling much on that, I would like to welcome on stage the CEO and founder of Save the Male Seed, Dr. Isaac Sithole, to come and have a word, an opening remark and a word of prayer. May we kindly welcome him with a warm round of applause.
Thank you, Spo. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to say much. I'm great to be part of this great event of getting information for our coming generation and those who will be helping us tomorrow. I will just want to do a simple thing, asking everybody to stand to thank our Creator for giving us this privilege of coming together in this fashion. Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for this moment. We thank your grace and mercy upon our lives. We even thank you, Father God, for those who are going to give us knowledge and information. We pray that grace them with your wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sithole. And please, I just want to do something, and I want you to say it back to me. So when I say ace, everyone says alike. Is that okay? Is that okay? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Ace. Come on, let's say it once again. Ace. We'd like to welcome you, sir. We'd like to welcome you. We once went to the Free State. We had a fantastic time with your community, your team, and I will say that we have a lot of work to be done. And with these partnership, we can truly conquer much. Do we agree to that? Please, Tanis, Shalini, Zanda, give yourselves a warm round of applause. Now, it is said that in the next 8 years, around 2030, it is highly likely that most people will be working in jobs that are currently not existing. When we speak about future technology, future skills, we can never exit the conversation of where are we going as a nation, where are we going as a people, where are we going as a continent. That in every leader's mind, we need to have that urge in our heart. So myself as a young leader, I'm always of a banner that says if it is to happen, it is up to me. But when it comes to a board of leaders sitting here, young and old leaders, old in the sense of maturity, old in the sense of mentorship to us young ones, it is not much about if it is to happen, it's up to me. It is more about if we collaborate, we make it possible. If we collaborate, if I add my skill to your den of skills and capabilities, there is no way that us as a country, us as a continent, we can be left behind. Now, for those who are yet to find out what their future holds, it is very important that we have a set of leaders that already have the vision far beyond 2030. And with that being said, I'm going to call on the stage one particular leader who has been the engine behind every organization, every event that we've held in the past years, in the past months, in many countries, in many organizations and many provinces. He is quite a leader that drives people to believe they can because they are. Can I say that again? That's $1 million speech. Who really drives people to believe that they can, but first to know that they are. They are great. God is with them. And through faith, it's never made easy, but truly it's made possible. So ladies and gentlemen, please, if you will, on your feet, to welcome on stage Dr. David Molapo. Simshale Zandakakuna.
Now, before you sit down, give yourself a round of applause. Wait a minute, this is not round. A round of applause is round. Just give yourself a round of applause. And then look to somebody on your left, on your right, and say this to them. You look stronger than the strongest washing powder. Please encourage them. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you so much, Smoo. We need to give these young guys an opportunity. Is he doing a good job, eh? Smoo Kumalo. Let's give him a wonderful round of applause. Thank you, young man. We want to welcome those live and online, and give yourselves also a round of applause. Why is it, Reg, that when we say online, we look up? Have you noticed that? We never say those online. We say, oh, the online. Have you noticed that? Thank you so very much for coming today. It's full house. We've got hundreds of people here. Before we get started, we want to say thank you so much for investing your time just to be here. A lot of people sometimes say, David Molapo, why? It's as if you are reinventing yourself. I can foundation, I can 4IR, and Babum Locha next year is going to be I can 5IR. No people say 5G yang it. Ninabasala no ate usata no leva 5G into siyachinja uzothola phambili. So thank you so much. Let me first of all thank Dr. Isaac Sitole. Thank you so much. Save the Male Seed International. Don't clap hands now. Just want to quickly thank the people. Then I'll tell you when to clap their hands. Baba, just stand up. But you know, people, human nature. When I say stand up, they already clap their hands. Do not clap your hands. Baba, I want to say thank you so much for the vision. The vision of Save the Male Seed and International. And we appreciate, we love you. And I know people today talk about the gender-based violence and things like that. And I know that you are in the forefront. And today we want to honor and recognize you for that vision that you have. And we are looking forward, as I can, to continue to take this message that you have for men. Amachita. Because, you know, sometimes we are called trash, we are called what, but somehow to give us that dignity so that we can be better men, better husbands, better fathers, and Siyabonga Baba. And with you, another tall man from Trinidad. He's the man from Jamaica. I asked him this morning, did you smoke something tonight? You know, he says, come on, David, don't talk to me like that, you know. Brother Martin, thank you so very much, sir, for being here today. He's a powerful businessman and investor, originally from Trinidad, but lived in New York, and now is in the continent. Thank you so much for coming. And all the way from the DRC, my brother Freddie, he's in energy. Just stand up, brother Freddie, let them see you. In energy, he is big in energy, multi-billion-dollar thing. I hope when we speak fast, the English, because we don't have an interpreter. Are you okay? You'll catch it in the spirit. There'll be interpretation. Thank you so much, brother Freddie. And we're looking forward to DRC, Guinea-Bissau. And today, you're going to see the other side of technology and where Africa is going. I honor you for your investment of your money, your time, particularly in investing in the next generation of leaders. Thank you so much. All the way from Zimbabwe, our partner, Dr. Ned Nedziwe. Ned, thank you so much, my brother. You're going to hear him speak tomorrow. Powerful speaker. Every second week, I'm in Zimbabwe, with Brother Ned, doing some stuff from government, local stuff. Nyabonga, Baba, thank you so very much. And sitting close to him, stand up, Brother Ape. You're going to hear a powerful speaker from Finland. He and I, we joke. He's from Finland. So I say, are you Finnish or are you really finished? Because Finland people are called Finnish people. What do you call yourself? So you can see we're going to have fun. He's, again, Api, thank you so much. He's the founder of Funzi, revolutionary stuff. His presentation is coming. We want to say thank you particularly to your family. Your daughter just got a birthday and got a license. Siyabonga Baba, thank you. But remember, my meetings, we are here to make a difference and make some little money in the process, okay? I know you're fighting with Russia now because you're now part of NATO. Hey, bro, the politics. Let's not get politics now, eh? You just stick with what you know best. Thank you so very much, okay? And then Andre, please stand up. Andre is going to be blowing us with some technology today. Andre Marriage. Andre and I, we know each other for more than 20 years. Thank you so much, my brother. Again, I'm speaking some particular people. Reg is my lawyer. Be careful what you say to me. Stand up. Let them see you. Okay, Reg, done. And then we've got our other sponsors all the way from Fortify Africa. Craig, please stand up, let the people see you. Craig, thank you so very much, my brother. It's the first time I see you wearing a tie, bro. Is it because the DJ is here, brother? But thanks so much. As you can see, we've already been playing that tape, and you will, when you're here, introduce your own team. Another sponsor, Ekurhuleni East. That's my township. Sisi, please stand up. And the Ekurhuleni team, let's stand up. Thank you so much. Kwatema. Babu Sanel, you guys are slow at Majuba. Ekurhuleni East, Etema. Wise people come from the East. East Rent. East Rent. I'm going to give you time. And then obviously before I introduce the DG, we've got our main sponsor here today. Baba, please stand up. We want to say thank you so much, Chief. These things take a lot of money to pay for all of those things, and it's good to have our own brothers, taking care of us. So Nani, continue to support UBS. You'll find out who they are. It's not a bank. It's Uluembu Business Services. We'll find out. And then in the house, we've got Ace. Please stand up, let the people see you there. He supports us every year. He's here. Have you noticed that? Every year he's here. So we want to say thank you so much. Also with Tumahule. We work together with Tumahule Legacy. Where are the young people, Tumahule? Stand up, let people see awesome stuff. These are kind of things that the media do not see. What people like Brother Ace are doing, but we don't care what the media say. We just do what we need to do anyway. Is that right? Siaspana, thank you so much. And then before I come to Her Royal Highness, Princess Zulu is in the house. Please, madam, let's recognize you. Thank you so very much. So I told Craig must not go like this. When you to a princess, you must go like this. Hey, my white brother was struggling. Even when they dance, Johnny, white people can't dance, man, So I say, Craig, you do this, my brother, And then we've got Saloshni, who's part of our team in KZN, who's also married to Reg. Thank you so much. And then finally, you've got my wife, Faith. Stand up, let them see you. I live by faith with faith. The just shall live by faith. Okay. Now, without a waste of time, as we get started, it's an honor. I could have picked up anybody else. But this year, we decided to pick up this awesome servant of the people, Dr. Nkosinati Sishi. A couple of years ago, when we were just getting into the schools in the rural areas, one phone call. How many calls? Don't underestimate humble beginnings. One phone call opened the whole KZN. But you know what I call KZN? I call it N3. I call it what? Come on, I call it what? Just help me. I call it what? And it's about N3. And that's Limpopo, N2. About that, Babu Sishi, with humility, I want to say thank you, Chief. I get emotional because a lot of people never knew about ICANN Foundation. It was the second time on SABC Alex, but you opened the schools. 3.5 million students you had there. I'm not sure how many educators. Chief, you did not even know me. There was this dynamic young man, but to David Mulap and the team, they want us to come in to do inspirational stuff, talk about STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics. Babumlojo. Those days, how could I forget you? The president of SACPO, all the Tibet colleges, he's here, he's our keynote speaker tomorrow. Baba, stand up, let's give him a round of applause. Ibrahim, that's why I'm calling him now. Tomorrow is our keynote speaker, Siyabonga Baba. Back to the regular program, sponsored by ICANN. Baba, you made a phone call to say, let ICANN get into the schools. You did not know whether we are selling drugs, whether we are selling what, but by faith, you gave a black man with our black women an opportunity to go into the school. So today, I'm here to honor you, Baba. I know you've been a CEO of PRASA, you've been involved in a lot of other things, but good education, God has placed you there. And today we want to honor you, sir, to give the keynote address during our 22nd leadership, SADC Leadership Conference, focusing on future skills and future technologies. Ladies and gentlemen, with humility, let's all stand up and bring to the fore Dr. Nkosinati Sishi.
Program Director, thank you for your opening remarks that set the stage and created a particular context and atmosphere that makes us feel comfortable and happy to be here. Dr. David Mlapo needs no introduction to all South Africans. He's done so much. And we wish you well and we thank you for your continued service to the people of South Africa and the rest of the world, because the ICANN Foundation is well known not only in the SADC region but in the entire continent. And may I also indicate that there are many of those who are virtually connected to this event, and I take this opportunity to recognize them through you, Dr. David Mlapo, and your beautiful wife, Ms. Faith Mlapo. It's an honor to be here before you and in your presence to present my address at this, the 22nd annual program of the ICANN Foundation, which is supported by the rest of the SADC region, and as the Department of Higher Education and Training, a department that is responsible for developing human capital in South Africa. We are happy to be here and honored. I'm not going to say ace, but I'm going to say I wish to recognize Elias Sekopela, Ace Mahashule, a teacher, a politician, an activist, former premier of the Free State and the former SG of the largest political motive force in the country, if not in the continent of Africa, the African National Congress. It's an honor to be in the presence of one of the finest sons of the soil, Ace Mahashule. Your Royal Highness, the daughter of Ilembe, the daughter of Inkosi Utingane, Inkosi uSolomon, Inkosi uBhekuzulu, Inkosi uZwelithini. Siyabonga. Your Royal Highness, your presence honors us. It dignifies all of us. We appreciate your presence and we thank you for supporting this function today. There are many guests that could be recognized. I have my homeboy, Sibusiso, with us, Kunene, from Ulwembu, who's honored this occasion. He's been introduced already, but may I honor and recognize your presence, Mr. Kunene, and thank you for supporting us. There are many guests from the United States of America, from Finland, from Norway, particularly in our own continent, from the SADC region. We honor you and we thank you for supporting us and the rest of the continent, and their brothers and sisters, all of you who are here, who have set time aside to come and contribute to this conversation that we have on leadership. And I think one of the biggest items in the agenda of transforming South Africa and the rest of the world is about leadership. I think that there are many who will agree with me. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to address you in this, the occasion of the ICANN 4IR SADC Summit and the dialogue on future technologies and future skills. Earlier on, I did indicate that I am from education, and if I were to take you back one single item in the history of South Africa that was the biggest in the transformation agenda of our country was the item on education. I think if you did not, or if you failed to fix education, there was nothing else you could do that is more important. And therefore, it was very important for us post-1994 to look around and say, what is it that we are going to do to fix education in our country? And we identified the curriculum as one of those biggest items in education that needed transforming. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I think if you have a child that goes to a school, I think you no longer are able to assist your child to do homework, simply because your education is inferior to that of your child. And that is one indicator of how far we've come to build the education in South Africa. One omission, though, is that we have not done enough to support our teachers so that they deliver this imaginative curriculum that we've put in place. It's a huge revolution to remove what was apartheid education and replace it with the kind of education that has empowered our young people, and many of them who ooze confidence as they go about doing what they do best. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me to be part of such an esteemed gathering and for the opportunity to speak on such an important and very relevant topic dubbed, ladies and gentlemen, and we are living in what wise people have correctly so dubbed as the exponential times, the 21st century. I'm sure that people are familiar with our history as human beings, are most likely to agree with me when I say that in terms of the journey that it has taken us as a people to get to what is considered to be the most critical juncture in our existence, the 21st century, we only started to document our collective efforts as well as recording our history with the, if you were to look at the two calendars, the Julian and the Gregorian calendars, one of the reasons why in the first place we changed the Julian calendar was, amongst other things, the era that was discovered that actually its estimation of the number of days, that is 365.25 days, was not actually correct, and in the Gregorian calendar was corrected. I'm going to come back to this later because I think it is significant in what is the input that we want to make. Program Director, every year as the Department of Higher Education and Training, what we do is we publish what we call skills in high demand. This is a collaborative work of the Department of Higher Education and Training together with research institutions in the country. What we do is We do research working with modelers to identify what the global economies would define as the critical skills, but also what is in the future going to be the most important skills that are necessary for education to drive in its curriculum. And every year we publish this, and I would urge that everyone who's here, please go to our website, look into this document. It's very important. When we speak to our institutions, and we've got 50 colleges that are TVET colleges in this country, spread throughout the length and breadth of our country. And we've got almost 1 million students that goes to these TVET institutions. We've got universities, and 27 of those universities. Of the 27 universities, 2 of them are the newest universities that we've built in South Africa. A program director, if you go to the Northern Cape, you will find Solplaatje University. It's an amazing university with a capacity to absorb about 30,000 students. And currently it has absorbed about 5,000 students, and it has, in its 7 years of existence, had its first graduation in the last week. But the fact of the matter is, I am going to be speaking about what is the contribution of the system of education in our country towards the development of our economy and the development of our young people in preparation for this future that we have chosen. Ladies and gentlemen, the economy of the Northern Cape is very much reliant on diamonds and diamond mining in particular. But we know that over the last number of years, diamond mining has been on a decline. But what we have done is to make sure that we inject energy in that province by actually establishing a new university, the Solplaatje University, as I have spoken earlier about. The Solplaatje University, ladies and gentlemen, is already beginning to turn things around for the people of the Northern Cape. I'm saying this because in the recent past, we visited together with the vice chancellors of universities in our country, led by the Minister of Higher Education and Training in South Africa, together with CEOs of research institutions, including CSIR, including the CEO of HSRC, Innovation Hub, principals of TVET institutions, including the president of SACPO, who's here with us today. We visited the Silicon Valley. I think if you understand the economy of the Silicon Valley, you will know that this Stanford University plays a critical role in engineering the economy of California, particularly the valley, the Silicon Valley. The relationship between the Silicon Valley, the capital drivers of California. We had an occasion to meet venture capitalists in California, and the community is actually a triangle that is very important. So as we build new universities in the country, looking at the models such as this of the Silicon Valley, our intention and wish is that we develop self-sufficient communities that are not only going to assist us in developing our economy, but they are also going to assist us to develop the society and the values of our society, such that we become these people in the world that have something to say when the world is confronted with evil, when the world is confronted with declining economies, with war, with, at this point in time, if you were to speak to the people of the Ukraine, and you understand what are the consequences of a war effort like that that is in the Eastern Europe right now, you will understand the value of education that goes beyond just driving the economy, but also developing communities and ensuring that we've got a better world. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, to stand here on behalf of the Department of Education, speaking at this particular conference, addressing not only my compatriots, but also many, in the world who work with us to fix and make sure that this becomes a better world, is an honor, ladies and gentlemen. It is important, and one of the most needling and perennial as well as recurring questions of our time is, as humanity, having responded to the challenges presented to us by previous century. And this is going as far back as the 9th into the 20th century. How do we, and that's the question, how do we begin to respond to a deepening crisis that we see unfolding right in front of our eyes? And well, for me personally, one of the ideas that has over the years served me well, which today is largely credited to a renowned American politician and the man who served as the 35th president of the US, Kennedy, is one in which it is argued that when translated into English and the Chinese word, what is crisis? Crisis, in fact, when you speak to any scholar from China, they will say there are two sides of a crisis. It's danger and opportunity. Many Chinese don't see a crisis, they see opportunity. And in this country, after COVID, in our country, after floods that have ravaged some of our provinces, it is important as we engage on the issue of skills development for the next century to actually think about this particular area. President Barack Obama, when he was appointed as a president in America, the first thing that he asked was, how prepared are we as a nation for an occasion of a pandemic? No scientists that were there could not provide the answer to those questions. And 10 years later, the entire world is ravaged by the COVID-19 pandemic. So what is important to us is, when speaking particularly to young people in our continent, is to say it is important for us to focus on the opportunities that are presented to us by this phenomena of technological advances associated with the fourth industrial revolution, to find answers or to try and work with it such that we become part of those who are helping us to find answers for the 21st century. Alvin Toffler once said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but the illiterate of the 21st century will be those who cannot learn, will be those who cannot unlearn, will be those who cannot relearn. I think it is very important, and I think if you were to forget anything that I've said to you today, please remember that it's important for us to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. It is a period for us to confront the challenges that we have for our country, for our continent, work together to making sure that we find answers for the challenges that we are confronted with. Earlier on, I made reference to the skills in high demand. We publish this every year, and we try to influence institutions of higher learning in particular to say this is the direction that we like the curricula to go. This is the direction that we like our TVET institutions to take. This is the direction that we like community education and training to follow. But when we do so, we understand that education is not only about formal learning, it is also about informal learning, it is also about non-formal learning. And our responsibility in this conversation as we look at technological capabilities that could assist us to develop better, equipped young generations to ensure that we take this into account. Rapid technological changes referred to as the fourth industrial revolution are expected to lead to changes in skills demanded by employers. It's important that we do so. In line with these changes, certain occupations are expected to decline in their importance, while other occupations are expected to become more important. It is important, therefore, for us to keep updating our curricula so that we are aligned to this, so that those young people exiting our institutions do not join the long queue of unemployment. Instead, they become the resource that we need to find new answers for the new direction that the whole world is taking. Jobs that involve tasks that are routine and easily codifiable are likely to be automated in the future. Typical jobs in this category will include normal jobs that we see, for example, jobs like cashiers, telemarketers, legal secretaries. On the other hand, occupations that are less vulnerable to automation are those that involve high levels of creativity, technical and social skills, and dexterity. Occupations using these types of skills include the occupations on professions such as the profession of teaching and nursing, artists, nuclear engineers. Skills required by these occupations are likely to experience increased demand, ladies and gentlemen. So if you were to go to the skills in high demand research that has been done by the department, you will actually see what needs to guide you in the selection of courses that we need to take going forward. But also it informs trainers and developers on what areas needs to be the focus of training and development going forward. It really time for just continuing business as usual, is not going to assist us. According to scientists, technology is transforming human life at a faster pace than ever anticipated or imagined before. And it's important for us to look into the convergence of nanotechnology, biotechnology, looking to robotics, information and communication technology, and most importantly, applied cognate science that poses a new situation in which, knowing or unknowingly, as part of the designed projects, human beings are increasingly becoming unwilling, genuine pigs in the world of science laboratory. I had an opportunity with the team that we visited the Silicon Valley with to meet the CEO of Google. And one of the main questions for me was, how much do you spend on research, particularly on artificial intelligence and machine learning, because these are critical areas going forward. I realized that probably what we spend as a country on research is not even a percentage of what Google spend on research. Clearly, if this is how we're going to continue going forward, we are preparing our society to be consumers of products of other people. And that is not what the education system in this country ought to be. And at least at this period that we are involved in education, we want to redirect education towards ensuring that our young people that exit the system become leaders instead of being followers and consumers of other people's ideas. It is crucial and it is very important for us that we pay more attention to research, we invest more into research so that we collaborate together with our counterparts elsewhere in the world, find answers to the questions of this moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important for us, in the light of these developments linked with this very century in which we are at, that some scholars and commentators such as Marcus Herter, who have warned about the dire consequences of humankind being caught napping this time around, that as South Africans we do not become part of those statistics that Herter make reference to. We visited this laboratory with many scientists. And one thing that really fascinated me is the fact that these scientists that we found there were really having fun, they were enjoying themselves. But what was the task at hand is crucial for us to actually, as we engage today, look into as South Africans, because if you look at artificial intelligence, there is no robot that is going to replace human capacity. There is no robot that will ever replace human capacity. But what is happening here is that those who fund this research fund them on the basis of values that are not necessarily South African values. Most of these values that drive the agenda for this research are capitalist values, and I have nothing against capitalism. But it is important that we are alert and aware that those are values that select certain problems, but leave other problems. And generally those problems that we choose to research on and choose to invest on are problems that service the interests of others and not the interests of our own. And it's important, therefore, to drive an agenda in conferences of this nature that begins to level the playing fields, to making sure that those who are actually ignored when it comes to the values that inform what research you conduct, what problem do you decide to solve, which problems do you decide not to actually follow through. It's actually, at the end of the day, about power. It is actually, at the end of the day, about whether or not we allow society that is led by those who are dominant in society, and that those at the back of the ladder remain there permanently and forever. And my motive today and my request today is to say and persuade all young scholars today to say, let us work together towards ensuring that we find answers, to these problems, and make sure that our country do not remain at the back, of the line, of the long queue, that only is going to serve as consumers of products of other people. We want South Africa and Africa to provide the leadership in this regard. We want, in the 21st century, to making sure that what in the analysis of crisis by Gramsci, who actually argued that the fourth industrial revolution will, and as he predicted, be the precipice of a period that presents opportunity, but also that period will present unprecedented vulnerability to humanity. Because with the industrial revolution, there also are threats. If humanity invests more on artificial intelligence and less on human beings, while there are floods in our country and there are people dying of hunger, and we are busy focusing on investing in artificial intelligence, in machine learning, there is a balance that we need to make in terms of the values. And it's the people of Africa that have the morality that is well developed to ring a bell to the rest of the world and say to the rest of the world, this is not the way to go. We can actually prioritize key issues of humanity, If you think of the triple challenges of poverty, inequalities, and unemployment in our country, and you look at gender-based violence and femicide, you will have to then decide in your budget, are you going to invest in these quintuple challenges that I'm speaking about, or you are going to actually, if you do research, also prioritize these issues, so that there's a balance between what we do in pursuing the agenda of research that is associated with the fourth industrial revolution and the values of humanity. And as a nation of Nelson Mandela, we are actually standing on the giant shoulders of the values that are a legacy of President Mandela. And it is us, and it's up to us to remind the world that it is possible for us to find answers in research that are associated with the fourth industrial revolution without sacrificing the values of humanity that are associated with what we as South African and our own subjectivities, our own identity as a nation have come to be respected by the rest of the world. In the past, everywhere there was conflict in the world, South Africans were asked to come and be part of the solution to solve the conflict in the world. I'm not so sure if this is the case right now, but we don't want to lose our standing in society. And therefore, I sit here and I'm standing in front of you and appealing to all of you in business, all of you leaders in Africa, politicians, activists, that we work together, support education in South Africa, in finding answers to all of these problems without sacrificing human values that are associated with the good that have led South Africa to be a country that is respected. President Thabo Mbeki at some point made reference to the fact that we had a genocide in Rwanda where about 1 million people died whilst we were watching. The rest of the world was watching TV whilst people were dying. In the same way that we were watching TV when the floods were ravaging Eastern Cape, when the floods were ravaging the other provinces, and fires were ravaging the Western Cape, and we were busy, engaging in other things other than to find common answers to alleviate the disaster that is faced, that humanity is facing. This particular program today presents us with this opportunity to say these things. We are not trying to present to you answers to questions. We are actually asking questions so that more questions could be asked, so that more people get interested in asking more questions, so that collectively we find solutions and answers to the questions that we have about humanity. I feel that as I conclude, we need to avoid the prospects of all the chilling and predictions and heard the warning from, in this particular, Marcus Hatter. And my appeal to us all who are gathered here today is that we use every opportunity that we create to have an honest, today, genuine, sincere, and meaningful reflection on the issues of the fourth industrial revolution, and making sure that meaningful reflection about this, what is at stake for humanity, if we fail to embrace and think strategically about the unlimited opportunities to triumph over some of the circumstances that have created all sorts of challenges for us as a country. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I think as I conclude, what we urge the conversation to do today is to work with the rest of the world in finding answers to our problems, but never to lose ourselves, because we actually have something to say to the world. We have something to contribute to the world, because we know best. we come from an environment where we have seen what happens when we have a government that ignores human rights. You know what these consequences are. And therefore, we have something to say to the rest of the world as we try to find answers for the 21st century. And this message that we have to say, if we keep quiet and say nothing about it, what will happen is that the world will continue to drift towards disaster. As you can see, what is happening in the West, in Eastern Europe right now, on a daily basis. Many people in Ukraine, have become homeless as the whole world is watching the destruction of a people, the destruction of a country. What is actually between us and actually intervening? And I'm not taking sides. I'm not saying let's take sides in the conflict, but I would like us to take sides and the side that we take, and it should be the side of humanity. And it shouldn't matter the identity of that humanity. It shouldn't matter the ethnicity of that community. It shouldn't matter the politics of that community. Humanity should be uppermost in our agenda for finding technological answers to problems that we are confronted with. And I'm urging you, those who are virtually connected to us today, to work with us in South Africa. We are a society that was established by the values of Nelson Mandela, and we are not going to let go of those values. And these are the values that define who we are. And how we define ourselves is nothing of content that has anything to do with race, anything to do with regionalism, anything that has to do with which continent you come from. But it has to do with the important role of humanity in the destiny that we have chosen. Thank you for the opportunity. I wish I had more time. Thank you.
Another round of applause for DG Nkosinathi Sishi. Sir, as you were unpacking your speech, I watch. It's amazing, some of those things, some of us you pack somewhere, and some of us got stuck when you say, while we believe in research, upward mobility opportunities, but people are hungry. And how do you talk about technology, but the rate of unemployment in this country, and yet the very same technology must be able to help us to leapfrog. So you gave us a lot of food for thought, and thanks so much for giving us the keynote address. So the next 2 days, we're going to be building on exactly what you have said. You'll hear the dialogue will be beginning, and hopefully you'll also contribute to that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our DG for DHEAD South Africa, Dr. Nkosinathi Sishi. Again, siyabonga baba. Thank you so very much. Another words of encouragement before we start with the dialogue. We're going to call Her Royal Highness, HRH. I give some of young people HRH. Her Royal Highness King. Then Ukenye Princess Mohar. Ukenye Ing. Because of the monarchy, whatever. Anso Twara the Queen of Mohag. Konale Braya Utla Mutlisa Mo Abutuahe. Can I get to the young people? It's all about learning. So I'm going to ask the brother to come up here now. Please, my brother. Actually, let them see you. Are you single or available, Chief? Who sevens are like I? Of course, do you take application forms or Her Royal Highness, please give a words of encouragement, and then after the SG, and we are ready with the dialogue. Baba, come in there. Let me do this thing quickly. Sanitizer. Yeah. I shall know Princess Isandla. We're still in South Africa. We'll speak Zulu and all of this stuff. That's fine. Thank you. Yeah.
We're now in Jove. Nabezit. Okay.
Bayede.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? Well, thank you, Program Director, Dr. Molapo, for inviting me. And the SG, Mahashule, and Dr. Sish. The panelists, esteemed guests, thank you for your audience. I am a rural girl child, a product of the rolling hills and meandering landscapes of rural KwaNongoma. I am as comfortable in the rural areas I call home as I am in the city. Techno-survey as most and understanding the benefits that technology brings to our lives. I am, however, unfortunately in the minority. Thanks to my late mother, Indlovukazi Manvombi Dlamini, whose vision it was to uplift the rural girl child and woman to be educated and self-sufficient. It is unfortunate that we continue to live with the erroneous misconnection that rural areas are only associated with agriculture and hence have little need for modern infrastructure. Primary health care, food, decent shelter, employment opportunities, recreational facilities, affordable and compulsory primary and secondary education, access to loans, technology, and other incentives as part of rural development for the benefit of rural dwellers. This misconception of relegating rural dwellers to the backwaters of society has its roots in the neo-colonial classic economic theories that have favored densification and accelerating investments in the cities with the notion that the rural areas will benefit from the trickle-down effect of the urban industrial growth. These theories have contributed to the stark imbalance of living conditions between urban and rural areas, also contributing various socio-economic challenges for the burgeoning urban environment as it copes to accommodate the ever-increasing population pressures on its fragile infrastructure. We are, however, fortunate that as part of our government's strategy of addressing the triple scourges facing our society of poverty, inequality, and unemployment, we have the Rural Development Strategy framework that seeks to focus and address disparities as part of our social redress. It is therefore important that as we forge ahead with these initiatives of agrarian reform, improved land, increased access to basic infrastructure and services, particularly quality education, health care, and that we deploy the use of future technologies as a backbone to these initiatives. This will, of course, eliminate inefficiencies and accelerate sustainable solutions to the growing rate of unemployment and challenges posed by global warming. It is therefore my firm belief and indeed desire that we deliberate on the role of future technology and innovations. Understand that the tools that we have at our disposal and bounty of innovation, which has come to define our current era and must be used to unleash of all human potential in areas, including the rural areas. Because anything is less immoral, unjust, and tantamount to genocide. I believe we have the means to reskill and upskill individuals in unprecedented numbers in all areas, to deploy the right technology for the protection of the future, our communities, where we will all be able to thrive as a society. Because after all, as Africans, we must all come home at some point. Ngoba singamagoduka. I thank you, and I'm humbled to have been given this platform. Thank you so much, Dr. Malapo.
Thank you so much, Your Royal Highness, and the tone of your voice, speaking on behalf of millions and millions of people in the rural areas. So again, another round of applause for her. Thank you so much. Ape, you got a lot of work to do, my brother, to address this. Ulwembu, we're going to be talking about those issues again. Thank God for technology, but we're still in Africa. How do we contextualize these new developments? One man once said, unless the lions tell their own stories, the hunters will give us their version again. So, Mama, what you do not know, Princess, is in this room. She just came in now, Dr. Angel Ramaipadi. She's been a champion of rural education for more than 30 years. Please stand up, let the people see. Let's give her a wonderful round of applause on that. And Jack and Ace KG. Where's Jack? Where's Jack? Jack. Okay. KG, you need to be in touch with her. And then also Craig and, the whole Tubatse area in the area of mining, making money in community rural areas. This is the woman. She drove all the way from Polokwane to be here with us today. Thanks so much. Good to see you. Okay, let's give another applause. Thanks so much. I see N3. When I N2 again. Ki N2 again. Mupeda abarena tobela. N1. Ki N1. Thank you. Before we get into the discussion, it's also a privilege and an honor to have this busy man. But every time this year, for many years, he stops everything and just comes in to support us. Ekhroman, we'd like for you just to come in, say some few words, and then we are ready to get started. The DG and Her Royal Highness Idalo. Let's put our hands together for Ndate Elias. Yes.
No, thank you. I'll be short because I was expecting a young chap from Tumahole Legacy Foundation. Thank you, Dr. Mlapo, the DG, distinguished guests, Your Royal Highness, all our guests from different countries. I'm sure you have been heartily welcome in South Africa, in the continent of Africa. I was supposed to say something on behalf of Tumahole Legacy, and just narrate a story how we started the foundation. Because during the years of struggle, people like the Swedish and Norwegian countries, I come from a small town called Paris in the Free State, the biggest, the largest province in South Africa in terms of geography, but very, very poor, but at the center of South Africa. We started as Tumale Career Guidance Center because during those days we actually regarded university education as very important. If you pass your matric, you did not want to go to anywhere. You just wanted to go to university. That's how we were taught and nurtured during those years, that university education is important. It's only with time that we learned that vocational training, TVETs, are very, very important. And that's where we need to focus if we have to address issues of unemployment. And when we ascended to government, we then decided to focus and prioritize. When South Africa decided in 2009 to say for us to reach Vision 2030, like what the Chinese did, like what Rwandans did, like many countries which succeeded, their focus was education. Not certification, education. Because I define certification and education differently. If you are a well-educated person and not just certificated, you'll care about others. If you are certificated and you are not educated, you won't actually care about others, and therefore you can't talk about humanity. And we therefore decided when we ascended government, South African government prioritized education, and wherever we are, when we established the Tumale Legacy Foundation, we said education is key. And that's why when we ascended government, I was fortunately part of the legislature or parliament for 25 years. And since 1994 to 2017, in 2009, when government said education is priority number one, we then decided what to do. Because Bantu education said, we as black people, we must never know and understand mathematics and science. So what we wanted to be, and maybe at some stage I became a teacher, because during those days you either become a teacher, a police, a nurse, and something else. And you won't enter any other field, because we were then denied education, and that's what domesticated us. And they always say white education domesticates and black education indoctrinates. So we're indoctrinated, and we became politically conscious during the years of Steve Biko, when he talked about black man, black woman, you are on your own, stand up, rise, and become conscious. And now we are challenged to become mentally conscious so that we use our mental for us to reach whatever we may have to reach. So when we ascended government, we said in terms of South African government or South Africa today, if you want to become a medical doctor, all South African universities don't take more than 200 students to study medicine. You go to the University of Free State, you go to Cape Town, you go to universities, says, we are full. You must maybe study HR, and you must study, go and do education. So they will tell you it's full. And we then decided, okay, South African universities, so many children have passed matric. What do we do? And we identified one country in the world called Cuba. And we said, what did Fidel Castro do when he was children, 314
to Cuba to study medicine. And we set the Mandela Cuba education program.